Madden here. Today we'll cover principle number 9, high standards from our 12 power principles of leadership included in 1% Warrior Leadership. Now available on Amazon on my website, coachajmadden.com. Let's jump into the principle, high standards. Absolutely crucial for a leader to be able to uphold high standards. To me, it's a prerequisite. If you cannot uphold standards as a leader, you are not yet fit for leadership or management, period. You must be able to uphold the standards of the organization. Examples of standards. What I call the 3 standards for leaders, and this also applies to team members, employees, and anyone else. The 3 standards. Number 1 is be on time. Number 2, be your word. That means do what you say you're going to do. And number 3, lock in. And what that means is focus on the person in front of you or the people in front of you. That means no cell phone distractions, no digital computer distractions where you're on your cell phone when you're having a conversation with someone. To me, those 3 standards right there are the foundation. This puts you on a solid foundation as a leader to earn the respect of others. If you are consistently on time, you consistently keep your word, you be your word, you live your word. And number 3, you lock in and focus on the person in front of you completely. You're fully present in a conversation. Those 3 things alone build a solid foundation for a leader. Now, if you neglect those 3 things, now you're building your leadership foundation, the respect that you could have been earning. Now this foundation is built on sand. It is shaky. It is unstable. If you are consistently late, you break your word. That means you don't do what you say you're going to do. You cancel meetings or commitments or appointments at the last minute. You don't follow through on promises to your team members, to your employees, to your family, and to your friends. And number 3, you are not locked in during conversations. I see this over and over again. Leaders, individuals, they're on their cell phones, they're on their computers, they're distracted. They have people walking into their office. They have all kinds of interruptions. All that says to the person that's in front of you is that I don't respect you. And this text message is more important than you are. That's all that says. That's the entire message that you send to people. Or if you're leading a meeting of your managers and you're on your cell phone constantly during the meeting, all that says is you don't respect them and this is not that important to me. Whatever's going on my cell phone is more important. I tell people that they're not busy. You're not busy enough to be on your cell phone constantly. You're not that important. Unless you are Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, you're not that important. You're not in that high of demand that you need to be constantly on your cell phone. Put barriers up around your time. When you're with your family, be with your family. When you're in a meeting, be in the meeting. And if you need to be on your cell phone or digital devices, keep the meeting short. Keep it short to 15 minutes and force people to get to the point. Or even 5 or 10 minutes with a one-on-one conversation. This forces people to get to the point. But when you're in that conversation, you are locked in on that person. Now, these 3 standards, you can apply them to not just your leadership, but also your life. And you can rate yourself, and I challenge you to do this on a scale of 1 to 10. Are you on time consistently? And there's exceptions to this, but on a scale of 1 to 10, are you on time the vast majority of the time? Number 2, are you your word? Do you be your word? That means you keep your word. Do you keep commitment? Scale of 1 to 10. And number 3, do you lock in during conversations and meetings and group discussions? Are you locked in? No distractions, no digital distractions or people distractions in those meetings or conversations. Take the one that you scored the lowest on. You scored yourself the lowest on. Say you're not locked in. You gave yourself a 9 and a 10 on being on time and keeping commitments, but on being locked in, you gave yourself a 4. I challenge you for the next 30 to 90 days to focus on raising that score up. Raise your score up on that third one. If you gave yourself a 4 there, focus on that for the next 30 to 90 days. And it'll have a dramatic effect on your relationships in a positive way. And also your respect. The respect you earn from others. Because the leaders that I see that are struggling the most in terms of respect and admiration, they consistently break those three agreements. Consistently break them. I see it over and over again. They are late, they cancel at the last minute, or they don't keep their word. And number three, they're on their cell phones or some other digital device. They're distracted in conversations. They're constantly being interrupted. All right? Your foundation as a leadership of respect, of earning people's respect, is now built on sand. It is shaky. It is weak and shaky. So if you take nothing away from this book and you only took away those three agreements and keeping those, your respect and admiration as a leader, as a family member, will go up dramatically. And again, if I looked at 100 leaders, how many leaders consistently keep those three agreements? Maybe 1 or 2 out of 100. Consistently are on time, consistently keep their word, and consistently are not distracted by people or digital devices when they're in a conversation or meeting. It's quite extraordinary. And these are the simplest things in the world. We could teach a 12-year-old to do these three things: to show up on time, to keep their word, and to not be distracted during conversations. Amazing. Amazing. So simple, yet so powerful. Don't dismiss it. Here's a quote from Joe Paterno in terms of standards. If you take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. To me, the difference between the amateur and the professional, one of the differences is their attention to detail. A professional has an elite attention to detail, where the amateur blows off the details. Oh, that's not important. This isn't that important. That's not important. Now, granted, some things are far more important than others, and the professional understands this, what's more important than others and what to focus on. But overall, they are, in terms of the details, they are looking to make incremental improvements in those details, just to get 1% better every day at something, in terms of a detail, over and over and over again. That separates, again, amateurs from professionals. The professional pays attention deeply to the details. The amateur is sloppy and dismisses or ignores them. Here's a quote from Ann Dunwoody. She's a U.S. Army 4-star general. Ann Dunwoody. Never walk by a mistake or you just set a low standard. And that's a tremendous quote right there. There's another saying, what you permit is what you promote. What you permit is what you promote. And what General Dunwoody is saying is, if you walk by a mistake and you don't address it, you just promoted it. You just said, that's okay. And now you just set the new low standard of performance in your organization. Every time you walk by a mistake, you just set the new low standard of performance in your organization. You just said it to everyone who saw and witnessed this. That's okay. If you have a standard in your organization to not be on your cell phone in front of customers, clients, and you walk by someone who's on their cell phone, who's on Facebook, and you don't say anything, you now just set the new low standard for performance in the organization. This is why it's so crucial for leaders. If you can't uphold high standards, to me, you are disqualified. You are not ready yet to lead and manage. If you don't have the steel in your spine to challenge low standards and address them, to me, you're not a leader, you're not a manager, you're not ready yet. That doesn't mean that you can commit today to challenging standards and learn how to have difficult conversations with people. And these things can happen in 5 seconds. You walk by someone who's on their cell phone and they're not supposed to. Please put the cell phone away. Thank you. How long did that take? 2, 3 seconds? It's not that difficult. Don't overthink it. Don't sit there and think about it for a week. How am I going to tell this person this? What should I do? Just uphold the standard and stop thinking leadership's a popularity contest and stop trying to be everybody's friend. People have enough friends. They don't need another one in their boss. What they want from their leader is someone who can challenge them and uphold standards and also care about them and believe in them. That's what they want. There's nowhere in that description did I say they want a new friend, a new buddy to hang out with after work. That's not what people want in their leaders and managers. Once you figure that out, you will level up tremendously. That doesn't mean you don't care about your people, because that's a crucial part of 1% Warrior leadership, is to care deeply about your people, their happiness inside and success inside and outside of work. But if you can't challenge standards, you're not ready to lead yet. Let's see. Standards, the secret to standards, one of the biggest secrets is that the higher standards you set, the happier your people are. Because people will rise to high standards. You'll find it over and over and over again. People will rise to high standards in an organization, and they will love it. They will take pride in those high standards, knowing that the standards of our organization is higher than everyone else, and they can achieve them. That will raise the self-esteem of your people. When you set high standards, and people can consistently hit those, because most people can, and the vast majority of people can, that is a great self-esteem boost for people, knowing that they're working for an organization, a leader who's committed to high standards. 2 more things about standards. Manage standards, not people. Manage standards, not people. That means once your standards are clear, your 5, 10, 20 non-negotiable standards in your organization, once they're clear, manage them, not people. That is what you're managing. And judge standards, not people. Judge standards, not people. Don't judge the person who's not hitting the standard. Judge the standard itself. It's not a judgment on the human being. It's a judgment on the standard. Are they hitting it or not? That's an important distinction. So when we think about management, manage standards, not people. Are they hitting the standard or are they not? It's black and white. Standards are black and white and binary. They're either above the line, as Urban Meyer says, or below the line. Very simple. If you found this video useful, please click like and subscribe. If you found it helpful, please share it with someone you believe will also find it helpful. This is from 1% Warrior Leadership, available on Amazon, and my website, coachajmadden.com. We have principle number 9 here, high standards, one of the most important principles in the book. Easily, one of the most important concepts in the book. I wish everyone success and happiness. And I challenge you to uphold the highest standards, not just in your leadership, but in your own life.